Hello everyone, my name is Katie and welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about the new moon partial solar eclipse that will be happening in Aries on March 29th. And this is really an exciting eclipse, or this eclipse season in general is one of the most insane eclipse seasons we've probably ever, or one of the most craziest ones we've ever been through. Because 2025 has been a year that astrologers are saying are similar to 2020 and 2012, and both of those years were very dramatic. Thankfully, this month, so March of 2025, should be the most intense of this year, but we also still have another eclipse season coming up in the fall. But let's be present. We'll get there when we get there. So let's talk about the new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. It's going to be happening in just a few days, so probably within a week from when I post this. So a little late on getting it out just because I've been a little busy, so we might skim through this really quickly, but we'll get it done. For this partial solar eclipse, there's a huge conjunction going on that's right at the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries, and it's between Mercury retrograde, the moon, the sun, so the new moon literally, Venus retrograde, Neptune, and the North Node. So that is a lot of energy being concentrated. And when you break it down, a lot of these things mean a little bit more when you look closer at which planets are closer conjuncted than the others. Like the North Node in Saturn will be really closer conjuncted than the other planets, which could be seen as an expansion of boundaries or boundaries being set. We also have, I'm going to check my notes here, we also have Mercury retrograde being involved in this new moon partial solar eclipse. Verbal Mercury retrograde being heavily involved, there could be a really big exclamation, something exciting being set in motion, just because that will be influenced by a lot of Aries energy, and that's going to be pretty close to the new moon going on. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. The themes with this big conjunction in Aries and Pisces is how do we take care of ourselves, but how do we take care of other minorities and people around us? Some other things are going to be how do we rise to the challenge of our own destiny, which I really like that one. Thinking long term about what serves and our purpose is going to be really important. Truth, honesty, review, inclusion, boundaries, and revolution. There is going to be a lot of change because I keep telling my clients this. It's not very often at all that there's so many planets like squished in one little tiny corner of the transiting astrology or chart. This just doesn't happen that often, and is partly why this year is so crazy intense. But another reason why this year is intense is that a lot of the outer planets like Neptune and Uranus are going to be changing signs. And one of those is happening this month for us, which is Neptune. Neptune is going to be leaving Pisces, and Neptune has been in Pisces for the past 11 years. So we have been, romanticizing wherever Pisces is in our chart. We've been romanticizing that area of our life, and man, I feel that because it was in my fifth house of creativity and fun, love, and children, and I feel like I've gotten like not a slap to the face, but like a reality check. And now I see as Neptune's moving toward Aries, which is my house of day-to-day life, health, coworkers, service, and things like that. Now I'm really getting excited about serving the community. So this is going to allow us to romanticize a different part of our life, which, has good and bad parts to it. Because like I like to say, astrology is more gray than people realize. It's not really black and white. But with that said, Neptune in Pisces had a lot to do with spirituality, Not only because it's Neptune, but because it was in the sign of Pisces. That also has to do a lot with Christianity and religion and things like that. And with Neptune moving into Aries, it's going to be really interesting to see how that exactly plays out, not only because of the historical things that happened when Neptune was in Aries last, which we'll talk about in just a second because we can't ignore that. It's so interesting. Um, but we could probably expect. I kind of want to predict a new religion, but in general, I could see us moving away from organized religions and maybe wanting to do more individual religion or spirituality by ourselves. That's kind of why I think there's a possibility of being a new wave of spirituality or religion or things like that. But we're going to be like the spiritual warriors. When you think about Aries, we think about like a warrior, a soldier, somebody who's rising to the challenge to come to a battle and win. So that's kind of the themes we can think of with Neptune going into Aries. Now, when it comes to some of the historical interesting things when Neptune was in Aries last, it was actually right before the Civil War started when Neptune first moved into Aries in 1861. 165 years since Neptune has been in Aries, so it has been a while. Now, going back to a lot of the transits that are transiting the new moon is going to be Pluto. So, bringing out a lot of hidden information, hidden things about ourselves and our ego, what we know to be true, our emotions. Things are changing. And this new moon is also going to be opposed vertex. So, there's going to be a lot of change going on that we might be resisting to a degree. Um, it's going to be really intense. So I'm still learning about vertex. Vertex is really cool, and I find that wherever it is in a chart, it tends to signify pretty dramatic change that helps us really refine certain areas of our life, but it can also signify more. So my notes say there's a big finishing up of a big mental chapter. It's a big review of things, especially with all of these retrogrades. I mean, it's only Venus and Mercury, but because those planets are so close to Earth, it affects us really personally. So this is a big review, especially of relationships, because Mercury and Venus are just dancing in their retrograde pretty closely. Another thing is going to be, who are you becoming? Because a lot of the things that we're doing now, we're reviewing, we're getting ready to act once a lot of these retrogrades and eclipse season is over. But there is so much manifesting power that's attached to our destiny right now, which I just think is so amazing. And I'm so sorry for my voice. It's like early in the morning, and I never record early in the morning. And my cats are running around, so I also apologize if you're hearing a lot of that, but it's like the wind last video. Oh my goodness, I really need a mic. But the next things in my notes for the transits that are happening around the new moon is also going to be defining individuality. Who are we within and without others? So within the collective and on our own. Who are we in each of those different avenues, which is really interesting. So Mars is the ruling planet for this celestial event, and it's trining Venus, Saturn, and the North Node, and then there is a lot of Uranus transits as well this time, also enacting more change. Um, Uranus is just having such a fantastic time right now, changing a lot of our lives, dramatically and abruptly for sure. So there, in my notes, it says passionate change in the collective. We can't avoid the change either, especially because Uranus is involved. Um, this is going to be a new intense chapter, and we may feel a strong sense of urgency about it, just because this change is so dramatic. I know politically there's a lot going on that is very intimidating and scary for a lot of us right now. I don't yeah, I knew this was kind of a short video. I've just been balls to the wall consistently for the past couple weeks. But you know what else can you expect with eclipse and retrograde season? So, alright, guys, with that, the theme that I have written for this new moon partial solar eclipse is who do you want to be? Who do you want to be in all of this change and realignment and a time full of destiny? We can be whoever we want to be, but I think the best thing to choose is your most authentic self. So, with that, guys, I hope you have a fantastic eclipse season as much as we can because eclipses are historically known to be tragic. However, I think they just bring about immense, crazy change. And for us personally, they realign us onto where we're supposed to be in our paths. So, if you guys really liked the video, I would really like it if you would like and subscribe to see more of me. And if you want to see me basically every day, check out my Instagram, Cat in the Stars. And I'll see you there. Thank you guys so much for being here for the video, and I'll see you next time.